Hey, what's up, you guys? So I'm just coming on for a little bit. Um, and as you can see by the title of the video, um, they labeled me THREAT. They've been labeling me that for years. Um, I was labeled one when I was in high school. And my pens officer, because I was on pens, I got in some trouble following a friend. And I learned a lesson there from following people. And, I didn't want to tell on her, so I took the rap. Okay. But I ain't going to try to play innocent either. Okay. But, anyways, um, so my parents officer said, she was looking at me. She was like, I don't see it. I'm like, see what? He said, they said, you're the ringleader. The ringleader of what? See, what it was is in high school, even younger, right? They used to try to get me to pledge, stand up, but the thing is I just knew it wasn't right. I knew it wasn't right, and didn't have anything to do with being a rebel of a country. You understand what I'm saying? This is about God. When we come here, we know who we are. We know, what it is that we are supposed to be doing, right? So my spirit knew. But my spirit had to catch up. My flesh had to catch up with my spirit, right? So when I got to high school, I would get kicked out of my classes. My history class, because I did a lot of studying myself. And I would, in the same time period, so, it wouldn't be like I was disrupting the class. So when we were studying a certain thing, certain time period, I'm looking up stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to ask in class, well, what about this? And they started kicking me out of my class for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Just because I was asking them about certain things in history, they would kick me out of my class. And so I actually had a teacher, and I will not mention this teacher's name, but she took me to the side one day. And she told me, she said, you got to get up out of this school. She said, they don't want to see you graduate. She said, you got to go. She said, you got to get up out of here. I'm like, okay. And I made it my business. And me being from the streets, I was in the streets at the time, but I was still going to school. And so I started taking school serious. It became very serious for me. You don't want me to have something that must be important. And man, listen, let me tell you something. You have no idea what I've been going through since. I messed around and I said, because I know certain things, I said certain things, and I said something. I called into a radio show and I said something. I'm not gonna say what I said, but it wasn't anything like it was it was like, how she know? So I've had, maybe it's a coincidence. I'm gonna just say it's a coincidence, right? This dude who I went to school with, right? All of a sudden, I stopped going to the school. Then I go to school out of state. Coincidentally, I spotted, because I have a gift. I could spot. I just can't help. I can't help it. And I'm like, yo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? I'm not even really putting it together. I didn't put it together. So one of my roommates, my old roommate, in the state that I was living in, she told me, she said, the FBI came here looking for you. Not looking for you, but they came here asking questions about you. Asking questions about me for what? Okay. So, now, I'm paying attention, like, yo, what the heck is what's really good? What's going on? So, just a couple weeks ago, I had my blade fell out of my purse. Man, listen, let me tell you something. The police been following me like crazy. Understand this. As a rape survivor, I had to allow myself to be a victim before I could be a survivor. So, but ever since then, ever since I was raped, I was 14, and then I was 15. I've always carried something. I've always carried a mace. I've always carried I've always carried something. I've never pulled it out. Never. Even arguments that I've gotten in, even fights, fist fights. I don't go start in fights, but I will defend myself. And I don't talk about those. Because they're not really important. It is what it is. People can say whatever they want to say. They can make up whatever story they want to make up. Trust me. And they done made some stories up, and people believe them. But I bet you they won't ever say none of that in front of me. And it doesn't even matter. Okay, don't even matter. But I had it. I've always had something. Being a rape survivor, you learn you look for ways to protect yourself. You know, I actually had to go into um I was in Rochester when I had to go to the court, right? When I lived in Rochester, I had to go to and you got to go through the metal detectors, and I was so scared because I had this stuff in my purse, and I was so scared. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna go to jail because I got a lane on me and I got mace on me and everything. And I had to explain to him, listen, I go to school on a college campus. I'm walking to college campus at night by myself. And he was just like, "You're okay." He said, and he showed me how to use it properly. And I was like, "Whoa, thank you." Number one, thank you for not looking at me like I'm this dangerous person, like I'm going, because you judging me by the color of my skin, and you thinking I'm finna go and that's how they see us, yo. That's how they see black women. Like we walk, like we finna go, blow up some stuff, or or really hurt somebody, and it was just like I'm like, I was really thankful for that. So the other week, when when this blade fell off my purse, I'm like, oh my goodness. And I started paying attention. The police, was following me. Like, it's just like, what the heck? What is it what you so scared of? Is you scared that you set this whole thing up for me to break? Are you threatened because I'm not who you tried to make me into be, as far as this violent person? What is it? I don't really care right now. You know, um, I don't care how much they investigate me. It don't even matter to me no more. It is what it is, because you can't stop me. You cannot stop me as long as God got me. It's not gonna happen. I'm not afraid of you. You don't understand some of the things that uh, 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 I have been through. Man, listen, okay. But here's the thing. I lived. My address was 130 Victor Lane in Hamilton, New York. And I know that's just like, oh my gosh, why keep putting her address out here like that? I don't live there anymore. I don't live there anymore. But here's the thing. My address was 130 Vic for. Like all this while I'm stressed out. I'm really noticing people following me. It's just like, what the heck is you following me for? What you following me for? What is it that you think that I'm doing? You know? And so that stressed me out and it messed with my mind. And I was already going through things. And I'm telling people close to me, yo, people is following me. I got people really following me. I got people crying. Like, there was this woman, and I straight cried because I have a gift, and I understand she came with an agenda. She came as a friend. The thing is, she came in the name of God. She came in the name of God, like she was this godly person, and she had an agenda. That hurt more than anything because you playing with God. But then I had to, and I broke. I was going through so much at the time. I had lost mad people in my family on both sides. Mad people. When I say mad people in my family, I don't mean like one or two. Okay. My deceased first love died. He was killed. Then there was all these lies and rumors and opportunity. The thing is, there were people in my family that was opportunist. One woman, one girl used what I was going through as she was an opportunist. She used that to think that she was going to block me and stop me. And for a minute, I had to sit back and I had to let her do what you do because you ain't stopping nothing this way. And I had to whisper in her ear after she tried to give me my ID back, and I told her, that's not the only way. You think you're doing something, you think you're taking something from me, you think you're stealing something, but what's mine, you can never have. So she was an opportunist. And I wish I can go into everything right now and to talk to you and tell you everything right now, but now is not the time. And I don't know if it ever will be because it ain't important to me right now. What's important to me is that I'm on my purpose path. Forget a career. Nobody cares about a career. I care about my purpose. I care about being on my purpose path. I don't care about no career. I'm on my purpose path. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for the kingdom. Okay. So it don't matter what people try to rub in my face that they doing this and they doing that. Okay, good. I'm if you happy, I'm happy. I can't even say I'm happy because I don't care. When I say I don't, my level of don't care is not. It may not be somebody else's level of I don't care because when I don't care, I don't even see you. I don't think about you. I don't think about nothing you're doing. Nothing you're doing makes me no difference. I don't care if you end up with $1 billion company. I don't. My level of I don't care is for real. I don't see you. I see you, but I don't see you. I see you enough. I see you enough. I see you when I need to see you. When you close to me, I see you when I need to see you. I'm a very spiritual person, so I'm gonna see you anyway. So whenever that person doing something, whenever someone is doing something vicious or you're trying to hide me, I see it. But I don't pay them no attention because I don't have to. Because why they trying to label me as a person who hurt somebody? That's not who I am. And I know who I am. And that's okay. They can do that. They can live that lie. They the ones got to go home and look at themselves in the mirror. And I guarantee you, a lot of these people not looking at themselves in the mirror for real because they won't be able to handle what stare back at them. And it's all good to me. And I'm at this place in my life now where I'm not stooping down. Why would I stoop down when they became my footstool? Why would I stoop down to pick up trash when I'm supposed to rise up off them? I would encourage you to do the same thing, you know. But how is a woman who has been sexually assaulted twice, how is she supposed to respond? How is she supposed to, you know? How my safe? I will never get my safety back. I will never feel safe around a group of men. Okay, I'm never gonna feel safe. Um, um, a part of me, my innocence was taken. My innocence was stolen. You know, just because there is this whole narrative, that black women can't be sexually assaulted and it doesn't affect us because it is a strong black woman myth, doesn't make it true. It affected me. I'm never going to be the same ever again. Never going to be. I'm never going to feel safe in that kind of way. I will always be on guard. And until you know how that feels, you can't judge anybody who has to think of ways of protecting themselves. It is what it is. But the thing is I'm very rational. When I was younger, being from the streets when I was younger, I used to carry hook knives and ice pick. And my grandmother would have to go through my stuff, and take it from me, and I will always find something else. It was just like it was naturally drawn to me. I'm serious. The hook knife I found walking down the street one day. The ice pick was here. I used to carry it with me. Nobody ever knew it. Nobody I was with ever knew it. I always placed it. That's because I see through the eyes of a victim. Because I was a victim. I had to be a victim before I could be a survivor. I'm a survivor, but I still see through the eyes of a victim. That's not going to change. It is what it is. And I'm comfortable being me. And if somebody ain't comfortable being around me, and if they scared to be around me, if they think I'm going to let them, they can do that. They can do that. That's not going to stop me from walking on my purpose and living my purpose. And so make sure y'all come over to Fibrozone. I started Fibrozone to help black women, learn about mental illnesses and to learn that you can be a survivor. But you have to allow yourself to be a victim first. And when you allow yourself to be a victim, you heal. And then you become a survivor. Okay? But black women are not allowed to be a victim. And you could do the research yourself. There's a lot of research on black women not being allowed to be a victim of assault when it comes to sexual assault. Not allowed to be a victim. Not allowed to be a victim. There's a lot of research on it. I'm telling you, you have to be a victim before you can get to being a survivor. And a lot of times we claim being a survivor before we have even accepted that we've been victimized. So we go through life, not dealing with a mental illness that is an undiagnosed mental illness. We have this bipolar, mindset. I don't want to say mindset. I'm just, our mind is split. That's what bipolar is. It's not just, being happy one minute and being sad one minute, or being joyous one minute and being angry one minute. Okay, it's so much more than that. But you're not going to learn that from the DSMV, which is the Diagnostic Statistical manual of mental health, something like that. I ain't got the what you call it right in front of me right now. But that's what that is, you know. And it's for diagnosis purposes. It is what it is. And let me put this disclaimer up real quick. I am not a licensed therapist, but I do have a master's degree in psychology. Okay. So I had to go through a lot of things. I had to research my own way, you know, and it is what it is. And if you have any questions that you want to ask me, that you want to, you can always talk to me. I'll leave my information in the video and stuff. And they labeled me a, I got people following me and stuff. Prior to everything, I always pick them out because I'm spiritual like that. I fasted and prayed for the spirit of discernment, and I got it. And I always fast and I always I'm gonna say I always fast because I'm too nice to go. But I always pray that God increases my spirit of discernment. So, and plus I was given spiritual gifts, so I know, sometimes I just be wanting to be like, yo, what's up? What's good? Because there was this man, and I never said anything. I wouldn't say anything to the people I was with, but I picked him out too. You know, um, following me around and stuff, and he be dressed in disguises and stuff, and I always pick him out. It is what it is. I mean, you know. So, but yeah, let me go again. I'm Shantae Bliss Barr. I'm a life coach. I coach women in healing through celibacy. I coach. I am also a healthy mindset coach. I coach men and women to learn about their mental health diagnosis and to navigate through a mental health care system. Uh, I love you all with the love of Christ. Honor your mother and your father. Respect your sister and your brother. Be kind to your neighbor. But most of all, honor, respect, love, and be kind to yourself. Peace out.